Boom, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation Next. We're gonna skip that
Proudly
again.
presents
I know, it's one of those
to
things. You just can't have, you know what? Let's just jump right into it.
The Insurance Bro Show is a podcast for agents who want to grow their agency and be titans of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the Insurance Bro, James Cias.
There it is, the Insurance Bro. All right, all of you insurance pros out there, let's get ready to dive into another fun, awesome episode. But before we do, just a quick reminder to please subscribe on whichever platform it is that you're listening to us on today. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, and drop a review to help other like-minded business owners find value from our awesome guests and our awesome content while we rise up in those podcast rankings. I will sincerely appreciate every single one of you for it. And if you want to be a guest on the show, I would love to have you on and learn from you as well. Go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest to schedule your time slot. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media at Insurance Bro Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an awesome one for you today, especially if you are in the mortgage industry, if you're in the mortgage game. We have an incredible offer for you. We want to talk to you. We want to help you solve the cash flow problem and set yourself up for retirement. So, this is day one, the first time that we're going to try this perfect webinar. It's completely not done yet, and that's okay, because what do? We just show up, right, bro?
just show up.
Just show up. So
you must be paying attention to my content somewhere.
I mean, I must be, you're putting it out there. I'm trying to do the same thing. I had that awesome conversation with Nick Bonatadibus. Got it. Bonatadibus. Yesterday, which awesome conversation. Hit me with some truth. Hit me with some truth that I was just, afraid of my own shadow, I guess, and so I started doing some stuff today and then listening to Traffic Secrets. I'm getting more and more and more of this stuff. It's like, you know what? This is what we're doing. This is what we're working on. Truth. This is what we are putting out there to the world, because when it comes right down to it, I know that we have something awesome. I know that we have something that's going to help a lot of people, and we want to help people. This is what we're here to do. We are here to be of service to others. So let me just jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know me, James Cias, the Insurance Bro. I'm the systems and procedures guy for our insurance agency, Pipeline Insurance. I manage the growth, servicing, and training arm of our organization. I've spent the last 7 years learning not just the insurance game, but also the game of business in the digital age. And feel free to stop me, by the way, in any of this stuff. I'm just literally reading my script. I started as an ordinary run-of-the-mill insurance agent. I got my license within a couple of months after being honorably discharged from the Navy in 2013. During those 7 years, 7 months, and 21 days that I spent in uniform, I told myself over and over again that I would never, ever again have a job. So far, that's held totally true. After getting licensed, I spent my first year and a half in the industry just learning the game. I wrote a handful of policy over the first 6 months, and then, along with my brother, I invested in taking over a struggling office in town. My learning curve skyrocketed as I was immediately in charge of writing and rewriting lapsed policies, dealing with walk-in clients, and solving the mistakes of my predecessor. There were no instructions to be found, so one of the first things that I did was to create our 10 steps to writing insurance policy guidelines. Inspired by my experience in the Navy, I wrote each step as I performed it. Read a step, do a step, just like I always did my shipboard maintenance. Little did I know that 10-step guide was the first step in developing standard operating procedures, which is the foundational point for building a true business, one that would allow me to retire successfully. So in 2015, I partnered with 4 people who were smarter and more experienced than I was to create a funnel of insurance agents who, while newly licensed, could plug into our existing system and create their own success. The first thing I had to do was create a training curriculum based on that 10-step guide that I'd already created. I spent the next 2 years teaching freshly licensed and inexperienced agents how to write insurance one-on-one, holding their hands through their entire process.
Dude, and that was a process.
That was a process.
Dude, I mean, I remember the orientations that you would run. They would be like 4 hours long in one day, and that was day one.
The very first one was a full, it was 2 days. We ended up splitting it into 2 days because the first like 2 or 3 that I did, they were just 8 full hours. 8 full friggin' hours. So we ended up splitting it into 2 days. But, throughout the whole thing, I was holding their hand. So, we would set up 2-hour appointments here and there and, different days. And we'd go through all kinds of stuff. We would learn together. I would make mistakes. I would go back and fix them. I wrote and rewrote that 10-step process and started to write some of our basic SOPs too. I worked on making sure that brand new agent had all the resources, specifically my time and energy, in order to be successful. I typically spent 6 to 8 hours a day on training calls with agents and another 4 to 6 hours writing scripts and organizing our agency data to make it functional. From 2015 to the middle of 2017, our agency grew exponentially. And this is where we start to get to the fun part. Our agents were writing a ton of business, enough to double the size of our entire company. Our own revenue for our branch doubled year over year in each of those first 3 years, and man, we thought we were on top of the world.
It was awesome.
It was.
Dude, looking at the P&Ls, I mean, my background's in the accounting, so every time we would meet every month, and we'd look at the P&Ls, we're like, really? Like, it just kept getting bigger and bigger. It was awesome.
It was. But it wasn't long, however, before my mistakes caught up with us. My mistakes. It was one of the biggest lessons and our hardest hit to date when we lost one of our top carrier appointments, and the book of business was consisting of over $3 million in premium. That amounts to $450,000 a year in revenue. Gone. Done. Dead.
Smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
That was
all
it.
we could do. Say goodbye.
We're finished. I thought. I didn't know how we would bounce back from that hit, but I had made a promise to myself. I would never, ever have a job again, and damned if I was going to break that promise. So I went back to what I knew best. Systems, programs, processes. How, I asked myself, how can I make sure that this never happens again? That's as far as I got in my script.
That's pretty damn good, though. That's the intro to I mean, that's a pretty long intro. It's about 7 minutes there for your intro, but getting to the nitty gritty, because we got to break down after you have the intro and we got the hook for the story. Now we got to come up with the first, with the three main points that we want to come across, right?
So the next thing that we got to talk about is the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
This is the next thing. I mean, we this isn't even the whole intro yet. Like, this is just, so far, this is when we were talking about it, we got the introduction, which is who am I? Mm-hmm. And the build credibility, why you can trust me.
Right.
So I think all of this so far, it's just the who am I? I don't even think I've gotten to the build credibility part yet.
Which is good. I mean, it's good, and it's a good start. We're just starting our whole thing. So, all right. So let's talk about the vehicle then. Let's handle that real quick. Let's talk about what the vehicle is going to be. So, in solving the cash flow problem, right? When we talk to insurance agents, and as we had new agents come on board, we were able to learn a lot about where they are in their insurance life, whether they're super green at the very beginning, or we had people that already had existing books of business from other ventures, right? They were mortgage professionals, accountants, whatever. But across
before we get into that, which ones were most successful?
The ones that had an existing book, of course.
Right? Why?
Well, because they already had a client base, right?
Already have a client base. Now, when it comes to insurance, ladies and gentlemen, there's 2 ways to start an insurance company. Well, I mean, there's multiple ways, but 2 major ways. One is what we call starting a scratch agency, which means you don't have insurance customers. You don't have customers, period. When you start a scratch agency, you are starting from scratch, right? Have you ever made cupcakes from that Betty Crocker box?
That is not scratch.
That is not from scratch, right? that is going to get the flour, and I don't know how to bake. I'm not even going to pretend to know what it takes to like actually make a freaking cupcake.
Man, I make my cookies on Fridays, and it's just the bag. I add an egg and oil, and done. Like, that's it.
Boom, right? That is not from scratch. Okay, so when you're making from scratch, when you're building an agency from scratch, you're really going out and trying to find customers, and that is often the hardest part of building an insurance agency or building any business, is finding those customers. So we were lucky enough. We didn't start a scratch agency. We found an office. We found somebody who was trying to get out of the insurance game. We jumped in, took over, and learned from there. And as we're building and learning and putting all of this stuff together, we're recruiting more and more agents. We're like, hey, come be part of our team. Hey, come be part of our team. And we have a bunch of agents who were scratch agents. They were trying to put this thing together. And we did not have a good system in place for them.
Early on.
We still really don't. I mean, well, I shouldn't say we don't have a good system. You know what we lack and lacked then, what we still lack is creating those leads. We don't have a way necessarily of creating all these leads for these scratch agents. So we can just say, hey, here's a bunch of leads, write all this business. There are a lot of successful agencies out there that do that for their agents, and that's fantastic and that's awesome. A lot of those agencies, I would say, actually hire their agents, and there's a lot of money, there's a lot of investment that goes into that. We gave our agents more autonomy and said, look, you are responsible for creating your own leads. And I think that still holds to this day. But what we have done is find ways to be successful for people that already have leads. If you already have a business, if you've already got clients, if you've already got customers, we can help you to write the insurance for those customers. And that's where you were going with the tax and mortgage offices.
And you're exactly right. The scratch agent, the one who's at the very beginning, that is not our cup of tea. That is not even who we're targeting, right?
Nope.
Yes, we can bring you on, but chances are we're going to bring you on as an employee, not really to build your own business per se. Although we do help people do that as well. Our main focus, our number one thing, it has to do with people who have existing books of business outside of insurance. Right. So they're not in the insurance space. They're tax professionals, they're mortgage professionals, they're what other agencies call strategic partners. We're taking a little bit of a different approach. We're not calling them strategic partners. We're literally going in and doing it for them. Like that's one of the big differences, and
this is the vehicle that we're talking about now.
This is the vehicle that we're talking about, right? And it really came from when you were talking about in your intro, doing those orientations, 4-hour orientations, 8-hour orientations, you're breaking up and you're holding hands, holding their hand all the way through. These ideal clients that we're looking for, these mortgage professionals that we're targeting, need the hand holding. They want somebody to come in and say, look, I'm already doing this business. This is my main cup of tea over here. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to add something that I have to do more work for. That is not how I'm going to operate. And so there's a lot of agencies that are like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Well, you can hire somebody else to do this. You can do this. You can, go through this training. They don't want to do any of that. So we're coming up with a solution to say, that's cool. We're going to do it all for you. The other hiccup that we came across when we talked to a lot of these is, I don't really have the capital to get started. I don't want to spend $10,000 to buy an office. I don't want to spend $30,000 to buy an office. I want to, whatever I do invest, and it's got to be as minimal as possible. I want to get into this insurance business, and I want it to make my money back. I want to make my money back. I want my return on investment like that. How do I get my return on investment as quick as possible? Right?
So don't make an investment.
If you invest 0 and you get 0 back,
well, no, if you invest 0 and you get $100 back, what's the return on investment there?
Well, that's infinite, right? And that is the approach that we're taking here. That is what we want to be able to promote to people is your capital investment in this is as close to 0 as we can possibly make it. You do have some investment. Let's face it, there are certain things that you need to do per the Department of Insurance to make sure that we can pay you.
Right.
So there are some investment that comes into it, but it's very minimal compared to going out and buying a State Farm office or buying a farmer's office or buying a Allstate, right? All these different agencies that are out there. And there's nothing wrong with buying an agency like that. James and I bought an office to get started in this whole space at the same time, right? We did the same exact thing. We went the independent route, but it's the same process. What are you really buying? You're buying the brand name, and you're buying their system, and you're buying that database of existing clients. We're not looking for those people. We're looking for the ones who already have an existing client base. Dude, that's the vehicle.
That is the vehicle. The vehicle is you as whatever profession that you're in, have that client base. You have those customers that you've already been working with over the past year, over the past 2 years, over the past 5 years, whatever the case might be. And we want to fish from your pond. We want to talk to your customers and offer you a chance to get reviews, increase your visibility online, be the lender, be the tax professional. You know what? Lender. Be the lender that has all of the online reviews. Be the lender that has somebody calling your customers and getting them to come back to you and refinance their loans, because we all know that rates have gone down, right? And so we want to be on the front lines for you, putting this stuff together. And the way that we profit from it, the way that we benefit from it, is at the same time we're talking to them about insurance. So the great thing about it, though, is if you've done your part, if you have gone through the licensing class, if you have gone to the state and passed that exam and you have your insurance license, you get to benefit from all of those insurance sales that we make. And the awesome thing about insurance, about specifically homeowners insurance, I'll talk about homeowners insurance because you're a lender, right? So what do you deal most with? Homeowners insurance, right? Homeowners insurance tends to stay on the books for at least 7 years. Okay, on average, we're looking at about 7 years that the policy will stay on the books and not go anywhere. So you start to create that residual income. My grandma has had the same Allstate agent for the past 32 years that she's owned her home. Never changed. Even when I looked at it, didn't change. Okay.
So I'm the grandson.
Exactly. Because people keep their homeowners policies for a long time. It took me, when I moved back here from Maryland after I got out of the Navy, I had a homeowners insurance policy over there in Maryland. I knew better, even after getting my license, that I had to change that homeowners insurance policy to a landlord protection policy, okay, a dwelling fire policy, whatever you want to call it. I knew that, and yet I left it alone for 3-4 years. Well, I don't remember exactly how long it was, but I left it alone. I let it renew over and over and over again, because that's what people do with homeowners insurance. It just sticks. It stays on the books. So what does that do? For you, it creates residual income. That's how we're solving the cash flow problem, and that's how we're helping you to retire.
If you're a mortgage professional right now, I mean, if you're a lender, you're getting paid for every deal that you close. Now, we've been talking to different lenders right now just to kind of test the market out there. And the number of transactions that their office is going through, 500, 600, 300 transactions, that's all money that's left on the table. You got paid on that transaction, yes. But what about, what about 11Zs and afternoon tea and all these other, right? What about all this extra opportunity that you're leaving on the table? You ate once, yes, but you got to continue to eat going forward. And if you're going to build a true business, right? A true business and actual retirement where you walk away, that only happens when you're rich. And rich, the way we're defining rich, is when you no longer have to work for money. Money's working for you. If you can get to that point in your particular financial situation, that gives you freedom. And that's what we're trying to offer you here. You already have the client base. You go online, you talk to real estate agents. What are they looking for? Lead generation. They want more clients. You talk to insurance people. What are they looking for? Lead generation. They want more clients. Everybody's looking for more clients. What we're saying is you already have them. Why are you letting them go? Let us come in and fix that cash flow leak that you have. You're hemorrhaging. You're literally dripping and leaving all your money as you walk down the street is hemorrhaging out of your body because you're not plugging it with a system to take advantage of the clients that are coming through your office.
All right. Perfect webinar talk. We have talked about the vehicle, and then we've got secret number 1, secret number 2, internal desire, external desire. What are those?
So I think the internal desire for any entrepreneur is they want to have success. They want to feel that appreciation, that admiration. It's that status elevation, right? I think that is the internal desire for most entrepreneurs. Some of them have more of a philanthropical type of ambition, right? Yeah, right. But I think what really fuels a lot of entrepreneurs is you don't want to look like you failed, right? You want to come into something and you want to have success at it. You want to be the best in your industry. And so I think that's the secret number one. I'm going to show you how to be the highest earning mortgage lender in your office going forward. I think that's the biggest internal struggle because that's the thing, right? You get into loans or you get into mortgages, you take this huge risk. You open up your office, you start bringing in people, they start writing loans, you start having payroll, you start doing all these different things. And when markets change, when markets shift, that means cash flow shifts and cash flow changes. And the last thing you want to do is be one of those companies that closes the door because you weren't prepared for down markets.
Right.
Those are the biggest fears. Those are, to me, that would be my biggest internal fear as a professional, to have failed as an entrepreneur. To publicly fail anyways.
Absolutely. So what about the external desire? What does that look like?
I don't know. And, I was thinking about that, and I was like, okay, well, what's the external desire? The external desire, based on the whole formula, is what we tell people, right? And I think that has to do with, how's business? Business is good. And I think the simple question and the simple answer there is what their external desires. How's business? Oh, it's growing. It's doing good. I'm okay. I'm doing a lot of loans right now. Those are all great things, but are you a true business owner? I wonder if that's my external, right? Like the way I remember reading it in the book was the external desire was, I want to lose weight, right?
Okay,
well,
yeah.
That's great. I want to lose weight. Well, why do you want to lose weight? Which we get to our internal, right? The internal, I think in this case was more of a status versus
right.
I think the external desire is my business is doing good. Like, oh, I'm growing, or I have more time maybe.
More time would be nice.
More time. Because really it's about that cash flow, right? The cash flow, the only real thing that it can buy you is time. So I'm thinking that the external desires is something along the lines of more time.
Yeah. That makes sense. External desires, I always think of like stuff, right? Like
the flash.
You want to have the flashy car. You want to have the nicer house. You want to have, all these different things, more time, like you said. So I think that all of those are external desires, and the internal is what you were talking about. It has to do with status and love. And what was the other one?
Status, love. And I think that mostly for me, it's status. And I mean, that's when I look in the mirror, that's my biggest thing right there. Is I want to make sure I maintain. Right.
So you want to have the flashier stuff. You want to have the bigger car. You want to have the bigger house, the nicer car. Right. And you want to have more time, and you want to be seen as successful. You want to make sure that you stay in business through the ups and downs of the market and the economy, no matter what's going on. You want all of these different things. So how do we do that? Now we get into our stack slide. So this is what we were talking about before. What we want to do for you. Number one is to reach out to your customers and get you Google reviews. It's the first thing we want to do. We want to make sure that you are being seen, you are being recognized, that your customers are singing your praises, and we want to make sure that that you are at the top of every Google search. We want to help you out and get you there all the time, right?
You're not missing business because you have no reviews versus the guy who has 100 reviews. You want to be the guy who has the 100 reviews.
Exactly. So if that's all we were going to do for you, for free, by the way, absolutely free. If all we were going to do for you was to get you more Google reviews, how much is the value of that, right? How much is that worth? But that's not all we're going to do. On top of getting you all of these Google reviews, we're going to be talking to your customers. We're going to be reminding them that it was you who helped them out last year. It was you who provided it was you that provided such awesome service. And it's you who asked us to reach out so that we could tell you that rates have dropped and you could save a bunch of money by refinancing your house. How much is that worth to you?
New loans here, new loans there. That's repeat and referral business.
Right? Exactly. So on top of that, we are going, you said referral business. So if they're not interested in refinancing, then we are going to make sure to ask, well, what about any of your friends? Have any of your friends been talking about refinancing their house? Are they in the process of buying a house? Do they have a lender? Is there anybody that we could help? Because, the guy that helped you out last time, or the girl that helped you out last year, she was awesome, right? Would you be able to refer anybody to that person?
Who do you know?
Boom. Who do you know?
Refinance their property right now.
So there we go. Those are the 3 things that we're going to make sure to do for you. We're going to get you more Google reviews, get you repeat business, and get you referral business. How much is the value of all of that?
Right. And that's where we start to crunch some numbers, right? And so we start looking at how much of that is going to change. And we kind of went through the spreadsheet and we look at some numbers. So the stack slide is going to have, value of getting the testimonials or the reviews, the value of getting the repeat business, the value of getting the referral business. And then it gets better.
And then it gets even better.
There's more.
I love that.
First of all, you're getting all that and there's no cost to you.
No cost. We're doing all of that for you. Of course, we're not a charity business. We want to make money, but we want you to make money too. So on top of all of that stuff that we're already doing for you, getting you more Google reviews, which helps land you higher on the search results, which is going to result in more loans through your office. More repeat business, which is resulting in more loans through your office. More referral business, which is resulting in more loans through your office. So already 3 ways that we're making you a ton more money. And now we're going to add another way to make more money, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to talk to people about insurance. If we get them to just buy their homeowner's policy, repurchase the new homeowner's policy, then, we could put potentially another 12 grand in your pocket every year and grow it
from there.
Grow it by 12 grand every year. So by the end of 5 years, what is that? 60 grand, $60,000 extra per year in your pocket with no work.
And that's just assuming we do homeowners.
But we're not going to stop there. We're insurance agents, for crying out loud. We know about the cross-sell. We are all about the cross-sell. So not only are we going to try and get them to rewrite their homeowner's policy, we're going to try to get their auto policy and an umbrella policy on top of that. So that premium all of a sudden goes from $1,000 a year to $3,500, give or take $3,500 a year. And your revenue in the first year goes from $12,000 a year to $40,000 a year.
It's a huge jump.
And it increases by $40,000 every year. So by the end of 5 years, you're making $200,000 a year. Is that enough to retire?
This is residual, by the way.
This is residual income.
This is not including the loans that you're writing. So your status will increase. You will have more cash flow. So you can do whatever you want. You want to call it retirement. You want to call it chilling, whatever you want to do. That's available for you. You can buy your flashy things. You have a true business where you can walk away from and have income coming in. Whereas where you are right now, you might be stuck in the office every single day, right? Those are all amazing things. And on top of that, it costs you hardly $0 and we do all the work for you. Dude, that's power. That's power. That's a no-brainer.
Why wouldn't you want to talk to us? So, that's pretty much it. This is what we are calling all loan officers for. This is why we are calling all mortgage lenders. This is why we want you to work with us, because we want to put this in your pocket. We want you to have access to all of this so that you can solve your cash flow problem, effectively add insurance to your existing business.
Mm-hmm. That's it, dude. That's it. That's been our thing, right? We want to. So here's the funny thing. If you look back into the whole Business Bros and your vision and your mottos and all this, dude, we're helping you create wealth today, generational wealth for tomorrow.
Yep.
By effectively adding insurance into your business.
Yep.
It just lines up.
That's it. So if you are interested, if you want to be a part of this, go to www.insurancebroshow.com/join pipeline, because we want to talk to you. This is a huge opportunity for you. It's going to be a great opportunity for us, and we can be mutually successful in this entire venture. And I really, so you got to work on the close.
Yeah, we got to work on the close. We got to work on the close. This is the first time honestly, because I thought you were working on your perfect webinar. I thought I was going to see a presentation, like a PowerPoint on the slide too. Boom, boom.
Oh, no, not yet. I was just writing it out, and kind of like so it's funny, behind the scenes here, when 2:00 hits, I have 30 minutes before the show, and that's when I do my research on our guest, figure out who we're going to have on the show, and write their intro. I do the same thing on the Business Bros. We start at 4:00, so when 3:30 hits, I jump on the computer, I do some research, I figure out who our guest is, and I write our intro. I write the fire intro.
But you were the guest.
Today I was the guest. I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to write my story, typing away. And, the first 7 minutes is what I came up with.
It's a good start, dude. I mean, this is only going to get better. And like I said, this is the beautiful thing about having our own podcast, especially when we're early on, like episode 60. Remember, we're way better off in episode 62 of your show than we were in episode 62 of Business Bros, right? So,
we have a better host. So
we have much better host. Dude, I think we're different people, though. Like, honestly,
for sure.
So, and that's the power of having your own show. Like, this is our moment. We're like, you know what? We don't have a guest. What we're going to do? We're going to just play this out, talk about it, and see what happens, and we're going to go from there. And that's it.
Over and over and over again. We're going to do this until we perfect it.
Dude, and like Russell was saying, dude, everybody's going to get tired of you're going to get tired of your story before everybody else does.
That's right.
That's cool. Practice makes perfect. That's why I was like, I'm not even going to share this. This is our practice run. If you caught it on live or you caught it on replay, awesome. You get to be in the ground floor as we're developing a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of the technical things James has already written, a lot of the SOPs, all the stuff to operate, everything is already done. What you're hearing us create here is the marketing piece. It's how we're going to structure the pitch, how we're going to structure the presentation, and what we're going to say and how we're going to say it. So, come along for the ride. Join the journey. Join the Business Bros and the Insurance Bros as they go on their journey here. But that's
going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have, this is going to be a great journey. This is what Russell was talking about in Traffic Secrets that just inspired me today. It's bring people along on your journey. The way he was on Instagram stories as he's writing Traffic Secrets. I'm like,
genius.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm doing this all day, every day anyway. So come along with the Snorks and join us. And
come along with the Snorks. Sing along with the Snorks.
Oh man, dude, now we're gonna have to catch that on.
Dude, that's old, dude.
Yeah, it's probably on Boomerang.
I bet you that show sucks, dude.
I bet you it does. Oh my god. Some things just don't hold up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for y'all today. As always, I really appreciate everybody who did tune in today. You rock my socks. You have my heart. You
have a nice day. Thank you for tuning in to the Insurance Bro Show. James is the CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you're an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit www.pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com. Look for James